Greetings to students and upcoming lawyers. Today I'm going to speak about constitutionality of labor law, which is a very important question from examination point of view. And for detailed custom notes, classes, and guidance, you can contact to the number given. And um, first, we'll understand what is a labor right. So, labor is where there is a productive work involved with a hard labor, with a where there is a hard labor involved, and it is with an expectation of making wages, it with an expectation of earning wages. So, it's a productive work with a physical labor for earning wages. And labor law is also called as employment law, wherein it is a set of rules, regulation, precedents which addresses the labor rights. And this is concerned with enhancing the dignity of laborers and working towards the well-being of laborers. In Indian Constitution, we have a schedule called seventh schedule, wherein we have three lists. List 1, list 2, and list 3. List 1 is for the central government to make the laws, where list 2 is for the state government to make the laws, and concurrent list is where both the central and the state government have got the powers to make the laws. Here, when we talk about a labor is a concurrent matter where both the central and the state government have got the power to make the laws. There is entry 55 given under union list, that is the central list, where it gives power to the central government to make the laws pertaining to the labor safeties and the mines and oil fields. And entry 22 of the concurrent list, where both the central and the state governments have got the power to enact the laws pertaining to the trade unions and the labor disputes. When we talk about constitutional basis of the labor law, here there is the Constitution of India provides a framework. Constitution of India provides a framework for safeguarding the labor rights, and here it provides for social justice, equality of laborers, and we do have two very important powers given under Indian Constitution, Part 3 and Part 4. Part 3 is from Article 12 to 35, which deals with fundamental rights. These are the fundamental rights of citizens. And Part 4 deals with directive principles of state policy. So, DPSP, when we talk about DPSP, directive principles of state policy, these are the principles for the government to follow while making the policies. That is, directive principles to the government while drafting the policies. That is, directive principles of state policy. In this, we have certain articles which specifically deals with the labor rights, which we're going to see in the upcoming slides. And even in the preamble, we find wherein it emphasizes on providing justice, which is of social, economic, and political nature, and equality of status and opportunity, and fundamental rights. Part 3, very important, fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are basic rights. In case if the fundamental right of a citizen is violated, they can directly go and approach Supreme Court by virtue of Article 32, and they can ask for the remedy. That is remedial right, Article 32. Now, first article is right to equality. The state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or equal protection of law within the territory of India. This is Article 14. Article 14 emphasizes on providing equality within the territory of India. And Article 16 deals with equality of opportunity in matters of public employment, where shall um, state shall give equal opportunities for all the citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. That is equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. And then we have Article 19(1) C, wherein it gives power to the laborers to form association, to form unions. And Article 21 is a very important article. It's a very wide article of Indian Constitution. Article, when we say right to life, Article 21, right to life also includes right of laborers. So right to life, in Article 21, it emphasizes that no person shall be deprived of his life or personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. The life of a person can be taken only when there is a procedure given by the law. That is Article 21. Article 23 and 24 are very important articles which specifically deals with rights against exploitations. Now, Article 23 is prohibition of trafficking in human beings and forced labor. So, trafficking in human beings and labor, beggar, and other similar forms of forced labors are prohibited, and any person who contravenes the provisions of 33 is going to be punished as per the law, is going to be punished in accordance with the law. That is Article 23. Article 24 emphasizes on prohibition of employment of children in factories. So, no child below the age of 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory which is engaged in hazardous employment. That is Article 24. So, Article 23 and 24 are very important articles when it comes to labor rights. And then there is DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. As the very statement itself suggests, these are the principles for the government to follow while making the policies. Directive Principles of State, in the sense government, while drafting the policies. And we have Article 39 D, where it emphasizes on equal pay for equal work. It emphasizes on giving equal pay for equal work for both men and women. By virtue of Article 39D, we got an act being enacted by the Parliament called Equal Remuneration Act. And Article 39 capital A is to give free legal aid. In case if the labor is not in a position to bear the legal expenses, he have got all the constitutional rights to ask for the government to help. That is free legal aid. And then comes Article 41, where it is right to work, to educate, and public assistance in certain cases, where state shall, within the limits of its economic capacity, is going to make provisions for securing the right to work, to educate, to provide public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, disablement. That is Article 41. Article 42 is where state endeavors to secure just and humane condition of work and maternity relief. It is by virtue of Article 42, Parliament of India enacted an act called Maternity Relief Act. So that for a labor law to be enacted, there should always be a constitutional base. So these articles, whatever we are discussing, are the constitutional base to the laws which is being enacted by the Parliament of India. And Article 43 emphasizes on state to secure by bringing suitable legislation pertaining to agricultural workers, and then to enhance their standard of living, to provide them full employment of leisure, enjoyment of leisure, and social opportunities, cultural opportunities. That is Article 43. And Article 45 is to provide free and compulsory education for children. State shall endeavor to provide a free and compulsory education to all the children unless and until they complete the age of 14 years. In the slide, it is written 6 years. Just correct this. It is up to 14 years. It is the responsibility of the state to give education to children below 14 years of age. And Article 46 is to provide special care and education, economic interest, to uplift the economic interest of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and also to protect them from social injustice. So these are the very important articles when it comes to fundamental rights and constitutionality. We sometimes we say constitutionality of the labor rights, connectivity between the labor rights and the constitution. So these are the articles from fundamental rights, which are basic rights of the citizens. In case if the fundamental right is violated, they can go and approach Supreme Court by virtue of Article 32. So we have got Article 14, 16, 19, 1C, 21, 23, and 24. Very important from the fundamental rights. From the DPSP, we have Article 39D, 41, 42, 43, 45, and 46. For 39 capital A, these are the important articles. And now we'll understand few case studies which are concerned with the labor rights. First case is Randhir Singh versus Union of India. Just now we discussed article free equal pay for equal work for both men and women is a part of Article 39D. Here, it's a part of fundamental. It's a part of DPSP. Though equal pay for equal work is a DPSP, it's a directive principle, it can always be questioned by virtue of Article 32 because it is considered to be a constitutional goal under Article 21. So they say, Supreme Court, though it is a principle, of DPSP, though it is not expressly provided under the fundamental right, but it is always a constitutional goal. By Article 14, 16, 39C, a person can get the equal pay for equal work enforced. Then comes People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court emphasized any remuneration which is less than minimum wages will amount to forced labor. If there is any prescribed amount is specified, if there is any amount specified by the government, that is to be followed. In case if there is any wages which is given less than the minimum wage, then it amounts to forced labor. MC Mehta versus Union of India. This case is very famous case. It is also sometimes called as child labor abolition case. It was related to the Sivakasi crackers factory. In that particular case, the Supreme Court of India made a very clear statement saying any child who is below 14 years cannot be employed in any hazardous industry. And if any child is employed near any hazardous industry, then it is violation of Article 14 of Indian Constitution, because it's actually not Article 14, it's actually Article there's one article which we just discussed, that is Article 34, correct? Yes, it's Article 34, 24, sorry, 24. Prohibition of employment of children in any factory, 24. So pertaining to Article 24, we have this case study called MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu, Article 24, where no children below 14 years can be employed near hazardous industry. So Dhirender Chamoli versus State of UP, the court said equal pay for equal work is applicable even to those workers who are daily wage workers, who are getting paid on a daily day-to-day basis. And Minerva Mills versus Union of India, in this particular case, the court emphasized balancing the fundamental rights and the directive principles is the bedrock of the Constitution. So when it comes to, are we supposed to give importance to the fundamental rights or the directive principles, the court says we'll have to give importance to both balancing the both fundamental rights and DPSP is the very cornerstone of the Constitution. And there is a Bandhuva Mukti Morcha versus Union of India case. This case is related to the bonded labor, where the court said the right to live a dignified right to live a human dignified life is a fundamental right, freedom from exploitation. And here the Bonded Labor Abolition Act was later stage enacted, and they said bonded labor in any form is prohibited by virtue of the Bonded Prohibition Act. So Bandhuva Mukti Morcha, the court said, right to live is not only mere breathing. Right to live is to live a life with dignity, a dignified life. So this is Bandhuva Mukti Morcha versus Union of India. Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. Olga Tellis is actually an activist. She's an activist who filed a petition, and then later it became a landmark case. In this particular case, the court said unreasonably forcing the pavement dwellers to evict the place will amount to exploitation of their rights. And here, without giving a chance for them to explain, you cannot ask them to vacate their residence. Then it would be like to violate their livelihood. So unreasonably forcing the payment dwellers to vacate will amount to violation of their livelihood. So this is all about constitutionality of the labor law. So in a conclusion, we can say Indian Constitution provides safeguards to the labor class, and it also provides the constitutional remedies to those who are suffering from the forced labor, trafficking in human beings. And this is all about the labor law and the constitutionality. In case if you are in need of notes, classes, and guidance, you can contact to the number given 7019560214. See you all in the next video, and all the best for your upcoming exam.